Back to winning ways for Liverpool as they beat Aston Villa 2-0 at Anfield. And after the weeks of turmoil that Liverpool have been having, they needed this win. I mean, that was a tough period for Liverpool, wasn't it? As a neutral and as a rival, of course, I was watching it and I was enjoying it, but they needed this win. They fully needed this win. And I think you look at some of the stats, right? And you go, yeah, this is a team that needed this win. And this is a team that wanted to go for that because they had a total of 16 shots. 4 of them were on target and 3 of them were big chances. So you can kind of tell what kind of game this was. Now, it wasn't pretty the whole time because there were times where I was watching a game and I was watching Liverpool play and I was like, what on earth is going on? There's still a bit of that panic that's going on sometimes when they play. I remember in the first half, they stupidly lost the ball and then Rodgers picked it up and then unfortunately for Villa, unfortunately for Liverpool, the chance couldn't be put to bed. So I was still looking at that Liverpool team and going, there's still a bit of chaos going on there. But what I think Arne Slot's done well, he's made a few changes. Kirkes dropped to the bench, Robertson is back in. Bradley played as a right back as opposed to Szoboszlai. Szoboszlai was more of a 10 today, given a bit of a free role. Florian Wirtz dropped to the bench. Obviously, Gravenberch was back, and we're going to talk about Gravenberch in a minute. Overall, it was a very solid performance from Liverpool. Mo Salah got on the score sheet as well. Wasn't the best of games from him. You know, some of the touches, again, very shady, very untidy, couple of shots blazed over the bar, but, you know, he got his goal. And like I always say about him, fantastic goal scorer, but he's not a great footballer. But nevertheless, Mo Salah gets his 250th goal for the club, and milestones like that have to be respected, you know. Despite him not being the greatest footballer on earth, he's not the most skillful footballer, but in terms of goals, like I said, great goal scorer, and to get 250 goals for any club is a great achievement. So he has my respect for that. I thought Cody Gakpo today, and I'm a fan of Cody Gakpo, but he was a bit wasteful. Not just a bit, but everything he did seemed a bit rushed, and it seemed a bit... He was too quick to try and get a shot off rather than sometimes putting his head up and seeing who's next to him and try and find a combination rather than doing a step over, cut in and try and shoot. Which is why I actually think Hugo Ekitike today felt a bit lonely, you know, despite him putting in a decent performance. I know his goal got disallowed for offside, but I think there were definitely ways to involve Ekitike a bit more. Nevertheless, Ekitike is a fantastic footballer. This is a proper number 9, a modern centre forward that I think everybody would like to have in his team. So calm on the ball, so composed, holds up the ball very well. And I think the standing ovation that he got when he got subbed off probably tells you everything you need to know. Liverpool fans absolutely love him. Alexander Isak, I know he's injured right now, but this is going to take hell of work for him to get back in the starting 11. And if I was one of the coaching staffs or even Arne Slot, I wouldn't just bring back Isak and just drop Ekitike back to the bench. Some stuff in life have to be earned. It's not because Isak costs more than Ekitike that automatically means that he has to play. I think there has to be a hierarchy within the club, yes, but also that hierarchy, especially with footballers, has to be according to performances. And right now, Ekitike is Liverpool's main number 9. But anyway, let's get into Ryan Gravenberch. I'm a massive fan of this guy. Ever since he was at Ajax, when he went to Bayern, I did say that the move came a bit too early because there were hella midfielders at Bayern Munich and I just couldn't see where he was going to play or where he was going to fit in. I don't even think he really fit the style of play that Bayern wanted to play. It was just a whole mess. So when he went to Liverpool, I said, these guys got a gem. And look at this guy's performance today. I mean, what shall we talk about first? His touch, the elegance on the ball, his ball carrying skills, the way he's just so press resistant. You could be running at the guy and with one movement, you are absolutely in no man's land. And he's calmed everything down around him, in front of him, and he just plays. He just plays, man. So much composure on the ball, such calmness on the ball. Honestly, I haven't seen anything like this in so long. I know the goal got a massive deflection, but the goal he scored probably crowned his performance today. In my opinion, man of the match. He was absolutely fantastic and Liverpool definitely missed him. As for Aston Villa, I don't know. It's a weird one because they went from being on a high last week, beating Man City, to this week being on a low, losing to Liverpool away from home. But I think they were the masters of their own downfall today. I mean, the first goal, do we even have to talk about it? Emiliano Martinez, my goodness. My goodness. I mean, he's going to have nightmares of that performance today. That was just atrocious, if I'm honest. And the signs were there, because when they played out from the back and tried to do this whole tiki-taka thing, they were warned several times to not do this. And really and truly, they should have taken those warnings and just gone long. But they did it again. Pau Torres and Martinez, no communication. Mo Salah's there. Thank you very much. That's a gift that you gave to Mo Salah. That's a massive, massive gift. Now, don't get me wrong. There were chances for Aston Villa. I'm thinking of the Watkins chance that ended up on the post in the first half. A couple of chances in the second half as well. They did well to fizz the ball through Liverpool's midfield, and they had acres of space to try and create something. But I just think overall today, the quality wasn't there. In midfield as well, I think the quality from Liverpool was too much for Aston Villa, even though Aston Villa's midfield looks really cold on paper. And sometimes they can produce really good stuff. Rodgers, Onana, Kamara, they look really good. But I think today, Liverpool's midfield was just too much for them. And I don't know, it's a weird one for Emery because he's looking at his bench and he's got quality on the bench. He brought on Tyrone Mings, who ended up going off with an injury, ironically. He has Jadon Sancho. He has Donyell Malen. But when they came on, I don't know if anything changed. I saw more from someone like Barkley who came on. Ironically, because we haven't seen Barkley in God knows how long. He came on and actually had an impact on the game. Sancho, sometimes here and there, being very patient and waiting to play the right pass at the right time. I think we've seen that more from him than we did from anyone else in that position on the left-hand side. But I just think ultimately, Aston Villa, with the mistakes they made in the first half, it killed them. I think that first goal that they conceded absolutely killed them. And the quest for anything Europe at this point continues for Aston Villa because remember last season, they were meant to play Champions League. And the only reason why they don't play in the Champions League this season is because they lost to Manchester United on the last match day. Martinez, who made an error today, made an error back then. Remember? Got a red card. And even this season in the Europa League, they lost to go-ahead Eagles. Can you imagine? Go-ahead Eagles. And obviously they went on to beat Man City. But it's not been the greatest of starts for Aston Villa to this season. And I don't know if they're going to address this by, addressing something tactically, Unai Emery, or are they going to address this by going into the transfer market? But then again, I heard that the sporting director, I think I remember it was him. The sporting director left Aston Villa. So who's going to replace him, or who has replaced him already if there's a new one? And what's the direction going to be? What type of footballers do they want to bring to the club? What type of footballers have to go? I don't know. And on top of that, there's the injury of Emiliano Buendia. I don't know. There's just a whole load of question marks when I think about Aston Villa. And at the moment, it's not really looking good. But nevertheless, Liverpool got the win, 2-0. I think they're sitting third right now. Premier League's heating up, by the way. There's loads of teams from like second all the way down to sixth that have 17 points. So this is going to be interesting, people. Very interesting. But listen, thank you very much for watching this video, people. Thank you very much for rocking with me on this content. I am trying to be consistent again, and I'm trying to be consistent during the international break as well. I'm going to bring the show back with Flawless. For those who've followed me for a long time, I had a show with Flawless called Cool, Calm and Collected. I'm bringing this back. I had a show with Brian, for those who remember Brian, that I wanted to bring on the channel, but then we kind of put that to the side, but we're bringing it back. So that's coming back as well. And I'm in talks to have a show with Saeed as well. So we're bringing back those, or not bringing back, but we're bringing 3 extra shows on this channel so you lot can have something to watch during the week. And the channel's not being dry for a whole week. So, yeah, you know what to do, people, to support this channel. Like, share, comment, subscribe. It's road to 20k, closing in on 19. And I appreciate your support. Like, share, comment, subscribe. Notification bell so you don't miss anything of what I post on this channel. And until then, I shall see you very, very soon, people. Peace.